If you were giving a birthday message to Mum on her 60th, what would it be?
You're going to be 60 and a granny in the same year. She's not fazed by it at all, though, I think. But, yeah, I'd thank you for all the great years that she's given us, and hopefully she's going to have many more. Yeah. That sounds bad, actually. You haven't got many left.
When she's in an environment of family, friends, this, that and the other, she definitely relaxes a lot more and is great fun and is always the one laughing the loudest and, you know, sharing.
Loves a good dance.
Yeah.
She's good on her feet.
Bit intensive if you're here all the time.
You can say she grew up in a palace, but essentially it was, you know, as country could get, I guess.
They had London, but then they also had Windsor. They did enough of both, I think, that she then wanted that, I guess, for us.
But she always had the horses as well growing up, so you know she always had the space. Windsor's a fantastic place to ride around the Great Park and all the rest.
One of the abiding pictures I have is your mother, her face wreathed in smiles. It was a fantastic moment. You could just see how inordinately proud she was then. And I imagine you must have been similarly exhilarated by Zara's victories in the World and the European Championships.
Yes, hers were a lot closer than mine, so it was perhaps even more satisfying in that respect. But the closer you are to it, the more likely you are to either be utterly amazed or thrilled.
Winning is, you know, one of the best feelings in the world, and to have your family there and Mum there, being part of it and being able to see you do it makes it much more special.
At the World Championships in Aachen, there was the incident at the start of the show jumping round where Zara didn't hear the bell because it announced that Germany had won the gold medal.
Celebrations in the German camp. They've got team gold. Who is going to win the world individual title?
So all the German crowd were screaming, shouting and saying, whooping. And Zara was circling around and around and around, waiting for the bell. And Mother was jumping up and down, screaming at the top of her voice, "Start! Just start!"
I'm not sure she's heard the bell. I'm not sure she's heard the bell. She has now.
She did say when I came out, she's like, "Did you not hear me shouting at you?" And I was like, no, not with 50,000 other people.
She's got to jump the last. Is she going to get time for? She's jumped it! She's jumped it! She's done it! She is the world champion at 25 years old!
Do you see that she was allowed to be a bit of a free spirit and therefore allowed you to do the same?
Yeah,
Definitely.
I think so. Yeah. I think it would go all the way back to her having the choice about whether to give us titles or not, and she quite rightly said no. And I think that goes back to, you know, her parents giving her the freedom to choose.
Yeah, asking the question and
yeah, never being afraid to ask the question.
Yeah. Isn't there a story of you playing rugby?
There were many stories, but she'd always used to bring the dogs down with her as well, and there was one occasion where one of them accidentally ran loose onto the pitch and interrupted the game. But whether that was on purpose or not, I don't know.
Tactical.
She would always talk to those around her, but she'd never sort of vocalise it onto the pitch like some.
Them, I think.
Yeah,
not
like
to
some
them,
parents.
In 1977, the first of her two children, Peter, was born, and 4 years later came daughter Zara. The princess and her husband decided not to give their children titles and to bring them up and educate them away from the normal royal lifestyle. Peter's gone on to become a successful marketing executive and is expecting his first child later this year. Zara's eventing career has closely followed her mother's, and the similarities between the two don't end there.
They're both very independent. There are a number of other words that you could fall out of that independence, but.
Like?
Yeah, you better be nice
now. Headstrong, single-minded, focused. You pick whichever one everyone you want. I mean, and I mean it all in, yeah, exactly, hardworking. No, actually, no, seriously, and all in the best possible way. But Zara wouldn't have got to where she's got in her sporting world without having some of Mother's single-mindedness and independence.
Appreciate enormously what having you as their patron or their president brings to that organisation. Do you not worry sometimes that you maybe spread yourself too thinly?
I think that's a perfectly justifiable concern, and I think I've pretty well stopped taking anything on. Only every time I say that, somebody, either the Queen Mother or perhaps my father, might be saying, it's time I cut down, by the way, when you do this. So it's not as easy as you would like it to be. It's quite difficult to give things up.
I'm always amazed at how much she can fit into a week, and the amount of different places she goes in the country and people she meets, and she always remembers, everyone that she's met, and it's just unbelievable, her capacity to do all of it.
We were both very much brought up on that whatever we did in life, we were going to have to work bloody hard, whether it's Zara doing equestrian 3-day eventing or me in what I'm doing. At the end of the day, we were told we had to work bloody hard. So get on and do it. Don't complain and quibble about a bit of hard work. And I think it's.
Keep swearing.
Oh, sorry. It's only once, wasn't
You
it?
usually say that to me. Anyway, carry on.
No, that's
We have a very, very hard-working board.
More people partaking of exercise than you do just sitting on the sidelines. That would be better for everybody.
Irrespective of how much you want to be there, how do you think she'd respond if you were selected for 2012? How proud do you think she'd be?
I think she'd be very proud. She always has been, and she'll never ever stop the support that she's given me and in my career, or both of our careers. And it would be amazing to get there, on home turf, and everyone might be able to come and watch.
Is she going to be a good granny, do you think?
yes.
Are you a
You can't go from 3-day eventing, retire from that, and then decide you want to go jump racing. There has to be something there and flat racing, jump racing. There has to be a competitive edge there somewhere to want to keep you competing at the highest level in whichever discipline you decide to go in. So she's definitely competitive.
And is that the gene that she's passed on to you?
Yeah, definitely. But she's always watched sport, she's always supported, she's always been involved and won at the highest level, so she can't say she's not competitive.
And she always reads.
This is not true.
She always reads the sports pages. I mean, she's always, she's a bit like us in that point.
Yeah.
Starts at the wrong end of the paper
Yeah.
and flicks back to front. So she's always tries to keep up with everything that's going on.
The person to blame, not the horse.
But at least your horse and you got you to be Sports Personality of the Year, so that was something you
Well,
did.
mostly the horse in that respect.
And your third place went to Barry John.
How bizarre an experience was that for you?
That was quite bizarre, yes, you're quite right. Because not having really come across it at all before, it was a bit of a mystery.
And in second place, you put Georgie Best.
What are your recollections of that day?
I think treat with caution. It was a very extraordinary atmosphere to walk into, but very enjoyable, really. I mean, people were very nice about it.
You voted as BBC Sports Personality of 1971, Her Royal Highness Princess Anne.
In spite of the fact they must have been absolutely mystified as to what I was doing there. I mean, I remember who gave me the award, and that was about it, really.
It gives me great pleasure, ma'am, to present Your Royal Highness with the Sports Personality Award of 1971.
And when Zara followed in your footsteps?
That was rather, we really didn't expect that.
And the BBC Sports Personality of the Year for 2006 is?
I thought she would certainly suffer from the sort of sport that she did and where she'd come from.
Zara Phillips.
you watch it on telly?
I don't watch the end of it, so it's got rather too long-winded for me.
Did you vote?
Certainly not.
Your mum says that she only watched the end of when you won Sports Personality, and she says she denies voting. Do you reckon she did?
No. I don't think she did. I know she wouldn't have watched the whole show because she wouldn't have sat down for that long.
I reckon Tim would have done. Tim would have done it, yeah.
Tim probably told her.
Yeah.
What was going on?
Yeah, he would have voted. Well, I hope he would. If he didn't.
No, I don't think she voted.
In the general scheme of your life...
That comes with the territory nowadays.
Who in 2006 won badminton for the first time some 27 years after his first success at Burghley?
You say his?
His at Burghley.
Who in 2006 won badminton for the first time some 27 years after...
Lives next door to us. Next door neighbour.
What was that, mate?
What did you say? The next door neighbour.
Pole petition.
Andrew Hoy?
It is your next door neighbour, yes, on Moonfleet.
The whole general tenor of this is the way that you all live your lives in the public domain. And there must be times when you must want to shut off from that and say, please, let me crawl away somewhere.
I mean, you could argue that I always have drawn a line between what I call public and private.
She's definitely our mother. You know, I mean that in the best way, that she's looked after us, supported us, taught us everything she knows, and allowed us to learn our way as well, and learn the hard way, I guess.
Certainly learn from mistakes,
Yeah.
and in that way she's let us get on with things, stumble if we've stumbled, pick us back up, brush us off, and her advice has been invaluable. Whenever we may have got slightly above our station, she'd be the first one to bring us back down to earth fairly hard. And if we were feeling pretty down about something, she'd be the first one to be there to saying, well, actually, you've got all this in front of you, why are you feeling so down? She's just been there and given the right advice the whole time.
If I was going to be a mother, that's what I want to be like. I would like to be as good a mother as she's been to us.